Kia ora guys, Bree here. It's been a while. It's 10 o'clock. I'm in my undies and I feel like I really need to I really need to film myself speaking to my own mobile phone and tell you the story and this reflection that I've been having. So today Haley and we took our kids over to Mission Bay. It's Labor Day and we went to visit these arts and crafts markets, and as we were sitting on the side of the beach watching the kids play, we saw, or we're about to sit down and have lunch, we saw this young fellow, well, probably my age, bit of a skux dude with a little hair tied down the back, and he was a street performer and he was working a crowd, and there was more and more people gathering towards him, and we were going, well, what's the buzz? We're gonna go and check him out. And this guy, I tell you what, folks, he's like this. He's an absolute master of a comic. He's probably the best street performer I've ever seen. So this, apart from really doing really amazing tricks like spinning himself around in this galvanized steel tube, turning himself around and doing handstands and juggling and eating fire, there was this one part where he went and asked for a volunteer in the audience, and he took over this little girl called Dora, and there was this one moment that he said this thing where he goes, guys, I'm gonna eat the fire, but when I finish, I want you to applaud Dora, because Dora's going to have an education and she's going to have a bright future, and we're going to all encourage her for it so that she doesn't end up on the street performing like me. Now, this is all said in absolute jest. I think he's a brilliant comic, and at the end he will say how much he loves what he does. But there's something about me and what happened today that really resonated, because this whole weekend I've been really struggling myself with this what I call the deceit of respectability. Now, if you're an immigrant like myself, you're an Asian immigrant, one of the things you get told when you grow up is that, Rory, this is what a picture of success looks like. It involves having an esteemed role, which typically, it's like the doctor, lawyer, scientist, accountant, architect. It comes down to these things. You must be these things in order for you to be successful. The other word for this is called respectability. And what if you just feel like, even though you've committed all of this energy and effort in pursuit of respectability, that somehow at the end there's a little voice that just tells you this is not the right path for you. And so this entire weekend, man, I get these waves where sometimes I look at myself in the third position and go, man, what on earth am I up to? I'm an absolute nut. I'm absolutely crazy. But there was something, I think seeing this street performer perform, how he finished his performance, which is saying, I can't believe I get to wake up and come and give this gift to you guys. There's something about that just helped me a little bit this weekend to keep going. So, I don't know how to finish this up, but if I was to title this reflection, I'll maybe call it the lie of respectability. Because when Phil Knight started Nike, he was working against his dad. His dad was trying to push him to get a respectable job in becoming an accountant. But Phil Knight did his thesis in his last year in Stanford, he thinks that he can create a better business model where he can go to the Japanese manufacturer. He goes to the Japanese manufacturer, import shoes that is just as good quality for athletes, but it will undercut the price that they can buy, that you were able to buy an athlete's shoes in the 1960s. And his hunch that he could not escape, that he eventually pursued selling shoes that he ended up building into Nike. Now, that might not be the end game of everyone, but I feel like if you were like me this weekend and you are just wrestling with what the hell am I doing and this tension and respectability, I just want to encourage you. And yeah, got nothing else. That's it. You want to see my undies? I'm not going to show you my undies. Nah.